Ted Jones mess with the wrong melon farmers.
Ted Jones, I also call him the eighth wonder of the real estate world.
Ted Jones, who knows, it could be.
Ted Jones?
The Ted Jones World Podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 66 of the Ted Jones World Podcast. I am your host, Ted Jones, and joined alongside a new face, I suppose. You've been with us for a few episodes, producer Katie.
So not new.
Pat is taking a little bit of a hiatus, trying to figure out his life. But Katie, we're happy to have you as always. You know, as I've said in the past, you put up this gorgeous mat behind me.
We love the
and it's been getting a lot of good reviews. As simple as it is, $7.99 on. I don't want to tell you where I got it because you're gonna get upset where I got this mat.
Yeah, I know where you got it.
Where did I get it?
You got it on Amazon.
Yeah, but at the same time, if I'm paying $14.99 a month for a service,
it's
like
$14.99 a month.
For Amazon Prime, yeah, it is.
Bro,
what?
That's so. I thought it was like
no, but it's all no, but it's you know what? I think over time it's become less and less worth it. Just because like I used to be ordering food from Amazon. I used to be ordering socks, little T-shirts, and stuff like that. But now I'm just watching Amazon Prime, and that's included in the Amazon package too.
Yeah, That for me is like, okay, you gotta have the Prime.
Yeah,
you gotta have the video, Prime Video.
Because also they make you basically get Prime just because the delivery fees and such. If you order 2 packages in a month, your delivery fees are already $15. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that they kind of they entice you to buy this Amazon Prime per month just because they're like, oh, look how much money you save. And then they tried to get me to get the credit card, but I was like, too smart for that. You know what I mean?
Cut that right there.
So my dad is just always trying to shop at Bed Bath & Beyond. But it's such a difficult process, especially when like Bed Bath & Beyond and Amazon are, what do you think? Are they kind of the same thing?
So like that's actually a funny like comparison because I so many times have thought, oh, I really don't want to buy this thing on Amazon, even though it would obviously be so easy.
Yeah.
How about instead I just order online from Bed Bath & Beyond? And it's just like, that's not better.
No,
that's
really
not
isn't.
better.
And especially like seeing that it's one of the only lasting big ass stores like a Lowe's and like a Modell's and stuff like I'm talking about no, but I'm talking about Modell's and Lowe's being closed on 6th Avenue, and Bed Bath & Beyond has how many floors in that insane building?
Bro, shopping at Bed Bath & Beyond is just one of those experiences where you just like, this must be what hell's kind of like.
It's it reminds me a little bit of Party City. Have you ever been to Party City? That's actually hell. That's the worst place I've ever been. Madhouse, especially around Halloween, and like what other time would you go to Party City besides Halloween?
When I was like an intern working at some production company, or I guess like a PA at the time, but I was in the office all the time, and I was constantly making runs to Party City to just get random props.
On 34th Street?
Shoots. No, I would go to the one on 14th Street.
They have 2?
Yeah, bro. It's
Who
a
knew?
nightmare.
I bet one of them is probably closed by now. Or they're likely struggling. Who knows?
Definite struggle, but like they're also probably just like it must be like some kind of mob front or like drug ring. But I used to, one time in particular when it was like summer, maybe, I don't know, whatever summer, like 5 or 6 years ago, it was probably peak July, just absolute sweating.
Even have AC in there or what?
No, at Party City, it was just like gross and weird and whatever, but I had to buy a dozen balloons, and then the people that I was working for wouldn't give me cab money. They told me to take the subway, and so I brought a dozen inflated balloons into like the 6 train.
What kind of balloons were these?
It was a mix of your standard rubber boys and then those tinfoil guys.
Oh, what was it, like happy birthday situation?
Yeah, it was some like it was like a really dumb video, whatever it was. But I was just like, here I am, just like a kid trying to have an internship.
Okay, so you used to work as a production assistant on set for potential videos.
Yeah,
so
these were props. These were props.
Right.
And I would just like, I'm brutalizing everyone around me with like the static and whatever.
Oh, right, like July
subway.
with the staticky balloons.
And like a dozen balloons, like no doubt. Like spread your arms right now. That's not even a dozen balloons.
Yeah.
That's not a dozen.
How
balloons.
much?
That's
how much did a dozen cost? How much do
it's like,
balloons cost?
I wasn't paying for
A
it.
bu- a couple dollars a
You know,
balloon.
like whatever. I mean, like these are like the tinfoil ones. That'll set you back like $4.
You know, I feel like brick and mortar in the city is maybe more so losing steam than actually
yeah.
I'll say definitely losing more steam than in like the suburbs. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
because
I wonder.
there's no Walmart in the city for a good reason,
Right.
just because there's so many options and Walmart needs an enormous amount of space. There's a Costco up on like the East River.
Like
but
on
I-
125th Street. or something
Yeah,
like that.
and like FDR Drive. But I
Right.
feel like the easier it is for New York City people to do something, they'll just stick with that. You know what I mean? Like I'm an Amazon Prime example. Do you know what I mean?
So that's actually like, so do you mean by that like you, instead of like, oh, well, I have my store for this, that, and the other, and it's all
Sure.
within 5 blocks, are you that guy, or you're full Prime? You're like, I
So-
don't even need to go out.
I mean, I'd say within the last 18 to 24 months, I've gotten less and less things from a Rite Aid, a Dwayne Reed,
Oh, yeah.
or something like that. Like just today, every time I freaking go to the laundry, I don't know, you tell me if you have the same issue, I'm missing socks. I think that's the one item they take, and like
Do you
won't
do you
even
do
know.
wash and fold or whatever? Like
yeah,
they do it?
yeah. So I do it like once a month, and it's like $20 a month.
Yeah, right.
But so
$20,
today,
that's like
Yeah.
pretty cheap for that.
well,
$20 a
it's-
month?
Yeah. Well, I
think for
get
me,
it.
that's
Like just
like
get it done.
80.
Well, I just get it done once a month. No way, it's
Yeah.
80 for you.
Yeah, bro.
What are you
My
talking
place
about?
I mean, the place, I haven't been in a while because I stopped.
Do you
doing
get
that during
dry
the
cleaning there
pandemic.
too?
I did, but then it was just it's like, what?
That
Fuck it, like
sounds nuts.
I'll keep it dirty. Like,
Usually
I'm not gonna dry clean.
it's like $1 to $1.10 a pound.
Yeah,
I
but
think
I
that's
bring
like the
in
industry
one-
standard.
Yeah.
What do you bring in? You bring in like 50 pounds at once?
I think that if I bring every 2 weeks, I'll do
Yeah.
it twice a month.
Okay.
It's like $40 a go
Yeah, each time?
each time.
Are you changing your sheets each time?
Yeah, every 2
Okay,
weeks.
I'm
yeah.
definitely not. No. I mean,
every 2
if
weeks.
it's just me, like I don't need to be changing the sheets every week. Come on.
Yeah,
and also
bro, at
save
least
you
your
some money.
Pillowcases, please.
I have a few. I have backups.
You
so,
gotta change your
so like
pillowcases.
once a month I could change. So like once every 2 weeks I'm changing the pillowcases. But I'm also
once every 2 weeks, bro.
Yeah.
You should be doing that like once every 4 days.
yeah, but I have 2 pillows and I only use 1 pillow. So like I'll
Yeah.
switch it up.
All
You know what I
right.
mean? Well, anyway,
Are you
going back to what before my
Party
gross
City?
sleeping habits. No, I was talking about
Gonna air that out on the pod.
just like I had to order socks today, and I got
Yeah.
a 6-pack of Dickies socks for $12. Like, okay, where am I gonna go? Am I gonna go to what's it called? I don't know, some place over your Buffalo Exchange and get a pack of
No.
a 6-pack for
Buffalo
$12?
Buffalo Exchange might be worse than Bed Bath and Beyond.
Buffalo Exchange is not great. Do you return clothes at all? Have you been there?
Oh, like sell my clothes to them?
Yeah.
I used to do that, like as a kid.
By the way, Buffalo Exchange is like an exchange store where you put in clothes and they'll
Yeah,
give
they
you
do
money,
buy.
and it's like GameStop, you know, like you if
It's
you have
dead
like
ass like
if
that.
you have like NBA like 2K21, they'll give you like a cool $5
Yeah,
for it, like that kind of
100%.
thing. But anyway, go ahead.
100%. I one time, like as a kid, went to Buffalo Exchange, brought a whole fat bag of clothes. Just like high expectations. They broke my heart. And then since then, I have refused to go back. But in my neighborhood that I just moved out of, I had this one store that was amazing. Just first of all, loved the store itself. It was a vintage store. They closed down is the moral to all this. Like the clothes were great. 2, I would bring in a bag of clothes. They would give me like $250. Like, thank you for the respect.
Oh, that's a
There's
lot.
Buffalo Exchange. You're like
Yeah.
$4, and they're
No,
like,
it's
yeah, your
crazy.
clothes are ugly.
Like I brought a big trash bag to Buffalo Exchange one time, and just the lack of respect, like you were
Absolutely
talking
no
about,
respect.
I was just like, okay. I mean, I'll sell it obviously because I have a 40 bag of a
Yeah,
40
like, I'm
pound
right
bag.
here,
Like, what else
yeah.
am I gonna do?
Exactly.
But the next time I had a big bag like that, I just went to the Salvation Army around the corner.
Right.
So I typically do this site called The Real Real. Have you ever heard of this?
Ooh.
This is for like the few cool items of clothes I have, but at the same time, like this particular company, you know, looks for designer clothes.
Yeah,
So like
right.
every season, I mean, if you don't have like the latest season of clothes, they undercut you, and then
Yeah.
they give you money when it sells. But there's this new place that opened up called Second Street. They opened up a few locations, and it's an interesting time to open up a store like that.
Mm.
But I think it's kind of like the Real, but maybe hipper. They don't have like
Yeah.
Rolexes. Like in the Real, they have like Cartier bracelets, those
Right.
Hermes bags, and like everything, like all this crap.
Have you ever sold
I
anything
don't
on the
know.
Real?
Yeah, I have.
Wow.
I've sold. I mean, like.
But it's a weird
So,
system, isn't it?
I mean, kind of. So, like 3 years ago, when I used to just buy dumb T-shirts and spend like $100 of T-shirts.
Like high school.
Yeah, I know that's a freaking good T-shirt. Where is that? I got a T-shirt that says high school on it from Urban Outfitters, and I rocked
Is it-
that
yeah,
shirt for
right.
like at least 8 years. I missed that shirt. If anyone sees that shirt, let me know. It just says high school on
I've
it.
definitely seen
Navy,
that shirt around.
blue. But
100%.
let me know if anyone's seen that shirt. But I've bought like a $250 T-shirt before. Yes, I know, very dumb. And then I'll give it to the Real, and then they'll probably list it for like 125, and then they give me like 30% of that. So,
30%,
it
yeah.
ends up being all right, just because like, what else am I going to do with these clothes besides wear them? And the thing is, with like these shirts and stuff that you spend all that money on, chances are people are gonna be like, oh, I've seen that shirt before. It's not just like a
Yeah,
plain white
right.
V-neck, which I have like a six-pack
Yeah,
of.
You're gonna wear that every day.
Totally.
No,
Yeah,
you're not
yeah,
gonna do
no. And
that.
it's like you wear it a few times, make a statement, and then it's like, all right,
And then
time
it's
to pack it up.
done.
Yeah,
Totally.
like honestly, staying in the realm of being a fashionista has got to be tough.
So tough.
So-
These people, they never wear the same thing.
Yeah,
OD.
we had Sydney Sadik on the podcast
Yeah.
a few episodes ago, and she's like a fashionista too. She's doing stories every single day in like a new outfit, new brand, new this, new that. I really understand why some of these celebs have stylists. Maybe I need one.
Oh yeah, you definitely need one.
Yeah,
no
especially if
doubt.
I'm on the carpet, every day.
Def on the
Lich,
carpet.
we're on the carpet right
We
here
are
in the
literally
stew.
on the carpet.
So,
Can't stop speaking in a British
so
accent.
Kate, it's all good. We love accents of all kinds here. So, Katie, you were talking about how you moved out a little bit. How has that process been for you?
So I am doing the kind of thing where I got movers. I really did it. I went and I just said whatever. I have my bed, my desk. It's pretty much. I mean, I lived with 2 roommates and the vast majority of the stuff in the apartment was all theirs. So
That's
like
good.
at
So
the
like
end,
their
it's like-
couch, the table, the TV.
Yeah, all of that.
Okay.
Pretty much all the kitchen stuff.
Nice.
The only stuff I really had to move was stuff that was directly in my room, but that's just like the biggest things. So I got a mover.
Is that like a dresser and bed?
I gave my dresser to the next tenant. Huge.
Oh, nice. Did you
huge.
did you sell it to her? Him?
No, it was like from IKEA. It was
Uh-huh.
like
oh, right,
I
right,
bought
right.
like
the thing will
60
be
bucks.
broken
Like
in next
it just
month.
sucked. Like I wanted to get rid of it more than I for more
Wanted
value
money.
than I needed money. Like
You just want to get rid of it more than you wanted
dead
money.
ass. Like if I said to her, the new girl moving in, if I was like, it's $10, and she was like, not really worth it. It's like that would just break
Also,
my heart.
how long did you have that piece of IKEA furniture for?
Only 2 years.
Yeah, but still, I feel like moving a 2-year-old dresser
Yeah,
out of a
no.
room, it likely would have fallen apart. So it's definitely,
yeah, and like
it was like
for
easier for
what?
you to do that.
Like for what? So that I can have a shitty dresser for the rest of my
So
life.
okay, so what were the items that they took?
My bed,
Yeah.
a desk,
Okay.
bedside table, TV stand, TV, and then just like a couple other miscellaneous boxes.
And did they charge you by the hour?
Oh yeah,
How much was it?
$625.
$625 hairs?
Yeah, bro.
Jeez. You know what? I was going to say no
Brutal.
matter what, it's always worth it to get movers, but I
Borderline.
don't know.
Borderline.
I would have said that many items, I would have been okay with spending maybe a $300.
I was
You
gonna
know,
say,
getting one of those
like,
T-shirts that I was
4
talking about.
like exact. You can just sell another T-shirt.
Mhm.
400 is like, all right, you're kind of spending a lot, but
Yeah,
like it's gonna
worth
save
it.
your life,
Totally.
whatever. Like I have a job,
Yeah.
thankfully, whatever.
right,
It's all
right.
set. $625. It's like
That's a
all right.
lot.
And you obviously I also tipped like between the two of them. I gave them like $120 tip.
Oh my God, these guys made a killing, and they also
made a
definitely got a
killing.
good workout too.
Yeah, good
Dude.
workout. But I also had the thought when I was like packing stuff into boxes myself, I was
Yeah.
like, my back hurts. Like
Uh,
worst job ever.
right. Do you
Being a
remember? Do
mover?
you remember the Nathan for You episode
Yeah.
where that guy Jack? I forget his name on the episode. The guy.
I can
you
see
can you
his
look it
face
up?
so much.
This Nathan for You episode. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show. One of the funnier shows
You
I think
have
I've
to.
ever seen. Nathan for You on Comedy Central. I don't know. They
Okay.
probably have it on like Hulu now or something.
Yeah, it's on.
But Nathan just comes up with all these insane business ideas that are like relatively smart. Actually, like
So
I think
smart.
they're all like pretty good. So he got this. he is basically putting together this plan in this particular episode. He puts together a plan with this moving company, trying to get volunteers and being like, oh, yeah, this is a great workout. Help people move. And then he finds this random guy. What's the guy's name?
I'm looking at a guy right now from
Just
IMDb. There's no way it's him.
No.
Frank Garrett.
No. His name is actually Jack. If you look Jack from Nathan For You, you'll totally be able to find that.
Jack from Nathan For You.
Yeah. So anyway, had
I'm on
this
the
guy.
Ted Jones World laptop.
Yeah, had this guy basically lie and say that he's been moving stuff for
He's a
his entire
bodybuilder.
life. He's a bodybuilder and he's never been to the gym. He just strictly moves boxes, which is hilarious. But just a number of weird episodes that go on in that show, but definitely one of my favorite shows.
So good.
Yeah.
Jack Garbarino.
Jack Garbarino.
He's a bodybuilder.
He's a bodybuilder, and in the show, somebody wrote an autobiography about him,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh yeah, you were really good friends with Steve Jobs, like randomly.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's out there. I want to read it.
No, you can buy it on Amazon.
I'm good. Well,
Of course, you
well,
can buy it on Amazon.
obviously
You know what I'm
Amazon.
talking about.
autobiography.
So
Wonder how
Katie,
much it goes for.
okay, before I forget, I had a few people definitely ask me about how this online date went. So
Exactly. I wanted to ask you about that.
So it went well. It was like a first date interview, and typically before I go on dates, I'll throw back a shot, maybe two, get loose, and then go to the date myself, and then have a drink or two. I'm really not that much of like a drinker.
Yeah.
Like I don't drink alone. Like I much prefer to smoke weed.
Right.
So I did that
Proud of it.
before. Yeah, I did that before the podcast, but it went pretty well. She's said she's like a long hauler. Have you heard of this?
Long haul.
Yeah, it's like a new coronavirus phrase that means like you've had the symptoms for a long time, which is awful. And that's
Oh.
like the worst thing I could think of when thinking of coronavirus being a long hauler. You know what I mean? Like the X amount of days that you're freaking dying sick. I can only imagine how awful that is. But then not being able to taste or smell for however long is tough.
Totally. I've been like, my number one thing that I say to people about this is I know a girl, and by that I literally follow her on Twitter, and she posted one time saying that she had COVID back in like late March, early April, and to this day, this tweet's probably like September.
Mm-hmm.
She, every time she brushes her teeth, it's just like absolutely disgusting. Tastes like, she said, like old hamburger meat.
Oh,
Just
wow.
gross.
What did she mention? Any other foods?
She just
Not
said like in
foods,
like
toothpaste.
just like small experiences here and there. I think like
Yeah.
overall like she can eat 3 meals a day, but it's
Uh-huh.
just not the same, which is just so brutal.
So the date went well.
Yeah, so the date-
yeah, it went well.
Speaking of,
And I think we're pals. We're good friends now.
Yeah,
Caitlin Kelly, very
pals.
cool. Yeah, so she has a podcast called What the Fuck's Up Podcast. Has a number of cool guests over there. I suggest you guys check it out.
Did you listen to it?
I did. I've listened to a number of episodes, like a couple and a half. I had said.
Yeah.
There was an episode from the girl who does We Met at Acme, which is like a pretty popular podcast. Have you heard of
Yeah.
that? Lindsay Metzler. And then I listened to another podcast with like a guy that she was hooking up with or had hooked up with in the past.
How'd you
So
know?
like that was funny because they talked about it like
Right,
pretty
right.
in depth.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So that was super funny.
I heard. I wonder if she's listening to this right now.
Sure, maybe. Who knows?
If you're listening to this right now,
Yes.
my friend Casey knows you. So
Interesting.
It is what it is.
Right. We don't give last names out here though.
I'm just not gonna
Yeah,
say
you don't
it.
have to.
She's
She'll
gonna
probably know. She'll
She'll
know. Casey's like,
Casey,
a
great
relative
friend of mine.
name. Right. There
Great
you
friend
go.
of mine. Friends with her boyfriend Cooper.
So, Katie, I think a question that a lot of people would probably like to know, and a lot of people are thinking about debating
Totally.
Thanksgiving plans.
Right.
So, what are you doing? What's your plan?
As you know, my family's in the city.
Sure.
I think we're all kind of playing it by ear.
Yes.
It's Tuesday now as we're
Yes.
recording this.
Yes.
So as of now, like we have our soft tentative plans that like the 4 or 5 of us, my immediate family, will get together
Mm-hmm.
and just like do something kind of chill. We've
Right.
already like sort of been seeing each other, so
Yeah.
like it's nothing too crazy, and we're all getting tested and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I guess at this point it'll probably happen. I hope that's like not that controversial.
You
It's
know what?
not. It's not.
I don't think it is, but something that's funny is like Cuomo saying, the gathering limit should be 10 people. But what does that consist of? Is that 10 people at a dinner table with no masks eating together?
Yeah,
Like, is that chill?
exactly.
Is that cool?
mean, that's
I
what
don't
it
know. It's
would
like kind of
be.
hard to. It's kind of hard to interpret just because
Yeah.
there isn't a mask mandate. But as soon as you sit down at a dinner table, there doesn't seem to be one.
Yeah, I wonder like what the mask mandate actually means. I mean, like, it feels like in New York.
Can you
in
get can you
general-
get a ticket for not wearing a mask?
No, I mean in New York, it feels just like maybe you're right. Maybe that is the difference. Like mask mandate is like some Italy where like in Italy in the beginning at least, I think they're still doing stuff like this now. But if you left your house and you weren't wearing a mask, or if you left your house at all back during lockdown, like it was super just standard for you to like kind of get like yelled at by cops.
Yeah. Also, I
And that
feel
doesn't
like
happen in
I
New
feel like
York.
New York is relatively chill about people wearing masks, just because there's usually enough space when people are walking.
Yeah.
And
Now.
now I think people more so are comfortable with the virus and how to get it. and
Yeah,
such.
like fatigue.
Yeah.
I think though, like New Yorkers are pretty good about the mask. I think like the thing about telling everyone, okay, 10 people max at a
Mm.
dinner or 10-person gathering, shit, whatever, however they're saying it.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like trying to put some kind of cap on it, like so that you're not having a 30-person party. But it is like pretty arbitrary. Like you said, it's like if there's 10 people and no one's wearing a mask and we're all eating around Thanksgiving table, it's like you're not like that much less likely to get it. I mean, I guess the more people you add, the more likely someone has it.
Right.
There was that like infographic going around / meme that was like chances that someone at your Thanksgiving dinner would have it state by state.
What did it say? Oh, right. It was
Right? You saw
I saw
that?
it was like New York is probably 14%.
Something like that. 14,
Yeah, or
16.
I think 14% are the chances that you'll get it if you have like a certain amount of people.
I think it was the chances that someone there had it,
Oh, really?
not chances that you get it, because that like that varied. Like if you have all the windows open, like you're probably okay
Mhm.
for the most part.
Who really knows?
Who knows? I think that's like the takeaway. We just don't know.
Okay, so I wanted to, I guess, get into 2 shows that I've been watching because I just can't stop watching them.
Go off.
The Undoing. Have you heard of this show?
Heard of it, haven't seen it yet.
Okay, amazing show. Just went through 5 episodes. I suggest that you all tune in on HBO.
I think you're right.
The Undoing on HBO. I really suggest you guys tune in. Hugh Grant is amazing. Nicole Kidman, I believe, even better. Super insane show. And A Teacher. I'm also watching that
I
on
just saw ads for
Hulu.
that. Funny
That
name.
is insane that they actually have teachers like this. This teacher like has a full relationship with her student,
Brutal.
and like she
thought it was
expects
supposed to
him
be
not
funny.
to tell tell his boys.
And
it's
how
cute. It's happy-go-lucky, I'd say.
it's happy-go-lucky.
I mean, I guess just the guy, like the kid, will look into the mirror and just be like, "I'm the fucking man,"
Oh, it's not like
any 17-year-old would do after banging his
Right.
teacher.
So it's not like dark, or
I
it's
mean,
like
it's
low
dark.
key dark.
It's dark if you think of it as her taking advantage of him, but if you think of a 17-year-old kid, a 17-year-old guy
right.
in high school, hooking up with his 30-year-old teacher, I mean, I don't know. It's definitely maybe I don't want to be controversial, as we've said the word previously in this episode, and
I
say
think we
that
should be.
if it is a 30-year-old man and a
Yeah.
17-year-old student, teacher, senior, 17-year-old student, senior, whatever it is, I think that's different. But I don't know how I
Mhm.
can really pinpoint it and put my finger on it and say that that is different, even
I
though
think, like,
that is controversial.
There's 2 different approaches to it, and there's one that's age and the other one it's a student teacher. I think like student teacher to me is way more like, all right, that's sus.
What do you mean, student teacher?
Like I
Like,
mean 17's young and like
Yeah.
whatever age of consent, blah, blah. I mean whatever. I'm not going to put an opinion on that at all cuz I have nothing new to say. But it's like the fact that I haven't seen the show, but if you got a kid who's in the teacher's class and then like you're hooking up. It's like, how does that translate in the classroom? Or like when you hand in a paper, what happens? Or if you don't hand in a paper, what happens?
This show hits a lot of those nails.
Yeah,
on
like
the
I
head.
haven't seen it, so I'm just like guessing what probably is already on it.
Professors in college. You remember Ross Geller was hooking up with his students?
That's such a thing too, because I think that is a good case of like playing more on that age versus like relationship thing. Like I think that if you're like a 22-year-old, if you're a senior in college and like you're hooking up with your professor, I think that's weird too, even though the age isn't bad.
Ross Geller from Friends, by the way. Even if I mean, I have heard and I know firsthand of situations where juniors or seniors in high school had in college had hooked up with their teacher's
you
assistant.
were just going plural on juniors and seniors in high school, and I was about to flip.
No, that wouldn't have been good. But I've definitely heard of that situation. And then also, like the relationship between seniors and juniors in high school. Fuck, I keep saying high school, in college.
Yeah, right.
I mean they're close in age. So for the most part, like it's a weird little bit of a disconnect. Like when I was on the tennis team at UConn, we had I'm gonna blow up UConn here, but whatever. So when I was on the tennis team at UConn, we shared the same tutors and like TAs as the basketball team. So you can imagine like the basketball team is bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars a year. So chances are they want their basketball players to get good grades.
Yeah.
So the like relationship between,
because you can't play if your grades aren't.
Yeah,
good,
you can't play if you don't have like above a 2.0 or whatever it was. So our relationship with like our teachers' assistants was just like they were friends, like living in our dorm or something. Like they'd be getting us the test early, they'd be giving us the homework or whatever it is.
Like
so
professors would be doing that?
No, like teachers' assistants. Seriously,
like
we would see the test like before we take it. It's like that's how I got an A in statistics, by the way.
If it works, it works.
Yeah, that was insane. Like also my roommates had no idea how I got an A in statistics.
Yeah, they're just like getting C's.
Oh my god, it was really insane. And like they'd ask me, they'd be like, "Dude, how did you get an A in statistics?" I'm like,
so smart.
What? You know?
I'm so smart.
Legit. And what did I get in algebra 2 in 8th grade? Like
yeah,
a D,
right, exactly.
Something like that. I don't know. But I think the closer in age you are, the tougher it's gonna make it, of course. But
do you mean like teachers' assistants?
Sure, yes. Yeah. But also going back to what I was saying initially in this show, a teacher where the student is 17 years old and then he's hooking up with a 30-year-old or however old the teacher is. What do you think is a worse situation? Are they the same?
As what?
As a 17-year-old girl and a 30-year-old male teacher, or a 30-year-old female teacher and a 17-year-old male?
I think it's the same. I think that there's a lot of like cultural, this is like, I'm going to say this whole thing right out of my ass, but there's a lot of like cultural like emphasis or maybe like history that says like, oh, like young boys like are like would be like way more psyched about like hooking up with like a hot young teacher and stuff like that, whereas like girls like are preyed upon and whatever. Like I think that we give we give too much like autonomy to these like high school boys, because like, you know, I mean, I think in any situation, like a boy like that, again, I haven't watched the show, but like a cool 17-year-old boy, like maybe like he hooks up with a hot teacher and all his friends are like, yo, you're a stud. And in his own mind, he's like, oh yeah, I'm a stud. It's because I'm a stud. It's because I'm a stud. It's because I'm a stud. You know?
Do you remember? Oh, this is crazy. Do you remember that this kid Pierre who went to Friends?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like clawing out of my chest to say his last name. But
yeah. So this is Friends Seminary. This is school. There was a huge rumor that Pierre was hooking up with the Latin teacher.
100%.
Did you hear this? Did you hear this too?
Yeah, beyond. But that also,
I feel bad. I'm not gonna blow up her spot just because like she seemed like a very nice woman. Even though I didn't take Latin, I got exempt from that because I was so stupid.
That's lit.
Also, like, who did you take Latin? In high school?
They didn't let me get exempt. I just like got C's.
Oh, right.
They're like, no, you like have to do it. We're just gonna like give you.
Yeah, I don't know if C's would have happened for me, but yes, this kid Pierre, he was. I think he was like a junior junior. He was a junior in high
Yeah,
school, and he
bro.
was hooking up with this
Okay, wait.
35-year-old Latin teacher.
This might be a little too local of a reference for like a general podcast, but I just want to take a second to say I'm pretty sure that that's a rumor that like every 3 grades some boy was singled out and it was like he's totally hooking up with the Latin teacher.
Oh, you think it's a rumor? By the way, this
because
is
that
Friends
happens.
High School.
By the way, this
That's
is
it.
Friends
yeah,
Seminary.
yeah, by the way,
The
New
Latin
York
department.
City school.
Because
Uh,
I was at a party like a couple years back, and it was with a few of my friends from Friends Seminary from when I was a kid, and these 2 or 3 kids came in, and they were clearly, I didn't know them because I don't know this stuff, but my friends who were my year recognized them as kids from Friends who were like maybe 4 years younger than us, and we're talking for a little bit, and one of them goes, "Yo, is it true that my friend bleep, but in my grade, is it true that he hooked up with the Latin teacher?" And it just
wait. Same Latin teacher,
whoa.
different kid,
Same Latin teacher, different kid.
and
my
about 7 years younger.
Approximately 7 years
No
younger.
shot.
100% walked up to us, said it. I saw with my own.
Was
too.
it true? Do you think?
No, it was so
right.
not.
But I
true.
think this particular
this one
kid,
felt true.
Pierre.
That
I'm,
one felt
I'm
true.
pretty sure
That one felt
Pierre was 2 years older than me.
Yeah, right.
And at the time, the Latin teacher was probably 35, and she was very pretty.
Yeah,
in my
she's-
opinion.
she's definitely like a teacher vibes.
Yeah. Oh my God, this literally could have been written about her.
Yeah,
This
it's
movie,
like
Hulu,
stereotype. full stereotype.
show on Hulu.
Yeah, right. Full stereotype.
I've also been watching a ton of Bachelor and Bachelorette. You ever get into that?
So
I feel like I'm.
the,
This is like me. This is like me. I'm going back in time. Like I started watching The Office a while ago. I'm just hitting everything that people started watching in 2003.
Are you going backwards or are you watching the current season?
I'm just bouncing around on these little apps and finding something that looks interesting.
Huh.
And if the flow is right, after like 10 to 15 minutes, I'll tune in.
Wait, so you bounce around The Bachelor?
Yeah. So I
So you-
saw
oh.
I guess the most recent season with Claire as the Bachelorette, but as we know, she found love super early with Dale, so she bounced.
Oh yeah.
And then like a new Bachelorette came in, but also
Crazy.
and then I jumped back to Juan Pablo. Did Juan Pablo's Bachelor?
how long ago was that?
Season 10. I want to say 2000.
What are they on now?
I don't know exactly, but Juan Pablo had a girl who made it to like the top 3, who happened to be Andy Dwarfman, who I DM'd the other day. She hasn't responded, so I'm waiting. She's like the Bachelorette. You know what I realized?
Is she gonna come on the pod?
No, well, I didn't ask her yet. I was wondering if she wanted to get drinks first, but yes. But also I realized after DMing her, I was like, do I really want to be, dating the Bachelorette?
Yeah, that would make.
And then
you
I
the
started.
Bachelor.
I started watching the show with her on it, and like her having to interact with 27 dudes. I was like,
yeah, right.
this is much.
Yeah.
Also like, how many of those dudes is she gonna kiss?
All of them.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
all of them.
at least a cool 20.
Yeah.
Because like the
minimum.
first night, I
They
think
get
like 5
cut.
people get cut,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
and then like she'll get into the mix. But just a very dramatic show and like a lot going on, and it's super interesting just to see this one person have to narrow it down to the one person that they're gonna have to propose to.
Is that's what it is? The end, right? Like they
Yeah.
have to get. They have to.
Yes,
propose.
the person has to propose to them.
Yeah.
And if I was on the show, if I was the Bachelor, I'd be like, okay, let me narrow it down. If it was this particular one, Juan Pablo had 27. I don't know why. It's usually 25, but he had like 2 extra
He got
special
alts.
ladies. Yeah, Juan Pablo. So 25 bachelorettes, or excuse me, 25 females,
Right.
and then I'd be the Bachelor. I just narrow it down to like the 10 best looking, and then from
Okay.
that point, I'd pick, who I
right.
wanted to
It seems
get
like
close to.
That's
It's just
probably
very.
what they do, right?
I would think in like you mean a mindset of a Juan Pablo or something
yeah,
like that.
Juan Pablo's not like on night 1 being like, okay, who
Right.
here has a heart of gold?
But the thing is, you should see who he ended up with, Juan Pablo. Like
Oh, yeah.
the girl who he ended up with, I'm like, really, dude? Also, because it really didn't seem like there were a lot of females on that show that meshed with Juan Pablo.
yeah.
And then in like the suite, like at the end of the show when he spent the night with all 3 of the final 3 contestants, Even those three, like nobody was really feeling him.
Yeah, right.
Just in general.
I got into a fair number of dating shows this summer, or this like during quarantine.
Didn't
in
you watch
general.
Love Is Blind?
Yeah, I watched Love Is Blind, Love Island, Flavor of Love, I Love New York. Couldn't recommend those last two more.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite one?
I mean, I love them all, and I watched them all until I hated them. You know,
Right.
probably though, like Flavor.
You must
of
have gotten
Love.
a lot of episodes in then.
Too many.
Right.
I actually, so I don't know if I've told this on the pod before, but I got my wisdom teeth taken out this summer, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna do nothing for
Mhm.
2 weeks. 2 weeks, no excuses. Like no one can come and
Were
tell
you,
me.
were you
I'm being
taking were you taking an
lazy.
extra week? It usually takes a week for
I didn't have a
wisdom teeth, I thought.
job.
Oh, okay.
I
You're like,
didn't
I'm
have
taking a
job.
bonus week.
Yeah, deadass. I was just like quarantining with my boyfriend, and so it was like he won't try to like get me to be productive at all. Like my one responsibility was to make myself look like I was somewhat productive while he
Uh-huh.
was working, and like
Right.
I was excused. So I said, all right, for 2 weeks I'm just gonna be healing, and it's gonna be sick. I'm gonna take my perks, and I'm gonna chill, and I'm gonna watch whatever. And
Pop a perk, it's just a start.
for the first
That's Migos.
the
Go
first
ahead.
and dash Migos. For the first 2 days, I just bodied absolute episode after episode on the couch. Love Island season 1.
Okay.
You ever watched Love Island?
Maybe.
It's really good.
Maybe. Not that I remember.
Just like absolutely deleted for 2 straight days, and then day 3, like early afternoon, I was just like, I'm gonna throw up right now.
Mhm.
Got up, was just like, I've never felt worse in my life. I feel like my stomach hurts, my feet hurts, like my head, my whole body just completely
You're
shut
like,
down.
who loves who?
Dead ass. Insane. They're all British. It's also like to embarrass myself a little bit, I watched seasons 5 and 6 first.
Uh-huh.
And as I was watching it, it was like, you know, it's there are like 8 weeks on this island, and there's 20 of them, and
Yeah.
they 5 and 6, I was just like, they're not having sex. Like they weren't. They never
Right.
talked about it. They never showed it, and I was like, that seems
Well, they're
like
not supposed to.
I was like, of course they're gonna, and then I looked it up online, and they were like, oh yeah, they stopped doing that after season 3 because people were like reporting on set that they felt horrible and like really uncomfortable because like they all share a room, like it's like 10 beds in one room, and they film the whole thing overnight and whatever. And so I was like, okay, well I just want to see what it's like
Yeah.
when a season happens and they can have sex. And so I watched season 1, and that was my wisdom teeth, and it was so hard. Like I absolutely did not need to see any of that. It was so gross. They would like subtitle it. These people are like having
Hey.
sex like over the covers.
So which seasons did you watch? You watched 1, 5, and 6?
Yeah, 1, 5, and 6. And I've seen choice episodes of the others.
Nice.
That's a great show. But I think my favorite one of those dating shows is Flavor of Love. And
Flavor
now I'm
of Love.
watching
And
this
then is that
horrible
with
scripted
Flavor
show.
Flav?
Yeah, it's ass.
Nice.
So good. And New York, she's a genius. But right now I'm watching a scripted show about reality TV producers on The Bachelor.
What's it called?
Unreal. It was like it was a CW
what
show.
platform is that?
It's on Hulu now, but it was a CW show
Unreal?
in 2015. I think you might like it.
Okay.
It's like kind of a bad show,
Uh-huh.
but it's really good too.
Just shows the behind the scenes and everything.
And it's brutal, and it's insane, and it's supposed to be written by or directed by or created by whatever it is. I haven't done any research into it.
Mhm.
Like people who really worked on The Bachelor.
Wow.
And it's just like so horrible.
Cool.
So horrible. They like just will like they'll like put 2 people on a date, The Bachelor and whatever, and they're like, all right, let's send in her dad. Literally. They like get the dad to like fly in from Kansas so
Uh-huh.
that he can like walk in on them on their date or like shit like that. Horrible stuff. But
Well, now you
great
guys
show.
have a number of shows to check in on. And Katie, before we wrap up episode 66 here, I couldn't be happier for the suggestions that we just gave everyone watching and listening.
huge.
So you guys have definitely enough TV to last you till the next episode that we drop, which will be 67.
Deadass.
Haven't figured out what day we are going to be dropping that yet, but we will be dropping it within the next couple of days. And
Within
we're
the next
going to be
couple.
having Noah Chenfeld, musician, on the
Huge.
podcast. Known this guy for a long time. Just came out with a hit song called Orioles. Did you hear this song by Noah Schenfeld?
I saw it on Instagram.
So he's actually going to be performing it live on the podcast for episode
sick.
67. So we are really looking forward to that. KT, as always, thank you very much. And Ted Jones Worlders, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and let us know if you guys want us to talk about anything in particular.
Yeah.
And this was a terrific episode 66. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Woo.
Ted Jones messed with the wrong melon farmers.
Ted Jones, I also call him the eighth wonder of the real estate world.
Ted Jones, who knows, you know, it could be.
Ted Jones?
The Ted Jones World Podcast.